Welcome to the Daily Whatever. I'm
Welcome.
Dana Dubois.
I'm Lawrence Winterman. I'm the photographic subject of many of those posts, to my chagrin.
Yes, that was Kira's treat I just threw over there.
Right, because she heard Papa's voice.
She heard your voice and was just like, time for my goods. Yeah, I think most of you know we're doing a summer pledge drive. Even though the kids are back in school and it's September, it is technically still summer until the 21st night of September. So that's when our pledge drive ends. We have a goal of 100 paid subscribers. And as we hit each decile, we are doing I don't know, we're having
A treat.
a silly activity. And so one of the things I added, though, was after we crossed 80, I said, for every person, I'm going to personally thank you with your individual post, your note on Substack, and an old photo of Lawrence. And I got super behind because we went from 80 to 90 since my last post. So we've hit the 90 threshold, which is very exciting. And yesterday, because I'm not working this week, to tie it back to our topic for today, because I'm not working this week, I took just the afternoon to go dig up photos. And Cheryl, you were another one of the posts. Thank you. And thanks for joining today. All kinds of old photos of you and of us, Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
The one of
Yeah.
you in
The thing
front
that
of
struck me
your...
the most was my skin. My God, I had such great skin. I was
There's
such a cutie back in the day. How is it that I spent my entire youth feeling like I wasn't attractive?
Same, Lawrence. I looked at them and I was like, always thought I was fat, but I was like, girl, you look good.
Right?
But,
Yeah. No,
but
I thought I was fat. I thought I was unattractive. Like I look back on those and I was like, kid,
you're
come
so
on.
pretty. You're so pretty. Um, the one of you in front of your Commodore 64 and your encyclopedias at your desk, though, with the
I mean,
big
real talk.
glasses.
That was real. I mean, there was the
So
Simon
cute.
Says, the National Geographics on the shelf, the Funkin' Wagnalls encyclopedias.
You're
Yeah.
unbearably sweet, and I just want to hug you. That little kid. I mean, it's so cute. It's so,
You
so
can't
cute.
really tell what's going on in that picture, but I'm using an early digital pad to draw logos on the computer. So all the way back to 1982, people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I've wanted to fuck around with design on computers since I was a child.
That's amazing. I did not know that's what you were doing. I just know you look very cozy at your desk, and it's so cute. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, 1 Minute Daily
Good
Boost.
morning.
I am in the chat. Our topic today is how to make work work, and we're going to be joined by the Momster a bit later in the show. I think she's joining around half an hour after, halfway through, and she's bringing baby Grace with her. We're all going to get to meet baby Grace.
That's very exciting.
But before we jump in, we do want to have a quick, what's going on in the news.
Oh yeah,
Lawrence,
did
help us
anything
insert.
happen yesterday? What's going
Yeah,
on?
right. There was kind of
I
this
don't
press
remember.
conference. What's weird, Lawrence, is it already feels old to me.
Well, I mean, we've been trained by by the Trump insanity. Like the news cycle moves so quickly that we're like, oh yeah, that happened yesterday. What was that, like 1987 or something?
Right.
That's
Yesterday was the most brave, first of all, and most astonishing thing I've seen in the news politically, that I can remember. And of course, we're talking about the Epstein press conference on the steps of the Capitol. And first of all, there were three legislators up there.
Yeah.
One was a Democrat, two were Republican. So sponsoring a bill to release the Epstein files, and one of them was Marjorie Taylor Greene. And can we talk about, I never thought I would say this, Lawrence, ever, ever, ever in my life, but she was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was really massive cognitive dissonance, right? Because
Yes.
she is still a monster, right? Like she's horribly transphobic. She's obviously racist. She's
Yeah.
a terrible person. And yet the things that she said yesterday were kind of pitch perfect. And I
Yes.
appreciated that she did it, right? Like
Yeah.
I still hate Nancy Mace, but I'm kind of glad that listening to the testimonies ripped her heart open and she decided to do the right thing.
Right?
I made a
Oh,
prediction yesterday that they would easily get two more Republicans by the end of the day, and I was wrong. I'm confessing now that I saw a list this morning of all of the Republicans that have said that they are never going to vote for the getting the bill onto the floor. I'm blanking on what that word is at the moment. Uh, yeah, apparently Trump and his cronies were on the phone all day yesterday, basically saying the president will find it personally offensive if you vote for this, and he will remember. Um, and yeah, it's fucking tragic. The Republicans are cowards. They are now absolutely complicit in the biggest cover up that has maybe ever happened. We have mounting credible evidence that Epstein was a foreign asset of some kind. And yeah, and all those Republicans are saying that we're not going to get the information. They're not voting it. They're not, voting it to move it onto the floor
that's crazy. Do you think
of the
that they'll
House.
get there? They only need two. They only
Yeah,
need two.
they only need two. I called my representative here in Fort Wayne, Indiana yesterday, got his answering machine, left a message. I saw that he was on the list this morning of people who are saying they're not going to vote it out of onto the floor. Um, and I'm going to call back today, right? And I'm going to make a pest of myself because I think that's what we need to do. Like
Yeah.
it's
We
insanity.
should all
But
be doing this. Well, I'm not doing it because I'm in Washington. So I'm like, there's nobody to call.
right, you
Everybody's
would
on the
call
right.
Pramila Jayapal and she'd be like, "Yeah, girl, I know, I'm
I got
ready."
you. Yeah. So I I can't imagine a bipartisan act like that. Can't get two more, except I can absolutely imagine it. Who am I kidding? Um, after they spoke, then of course we heard from how many of his survivors did we hear from? Like 8,
Eight,
10?
eight. Yeah, no, it was
8.
eight women. Yeah. Um, although I'm not sure if that counts the brother of Virginia Giuffre, Sky Roberts. He
Counts.
was.
He was incredible.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just. I don't know if it was eight women plus him or if he's included in the
Oh,
eight. Right.
okay.
He was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was heartbreaking listening to how raw and still very deeply present the pain is for him of losing his sister to her struggle in dealing with the fact that she'd been exploited and raped by Epstein for all those years. Um,
It just happened in April, right? I mean, that's like super
yeah,
raw.
you're right. It's not that long ago, and listening to each of those women speak, and then Guy Roberts also speak. Like, if that didn't break your heart wide open, I don't want to know you, right? Like, I don't know how any sane person couldn't look at that and hear that and think, you know what, there we got to do something. There's a deeper story here that needs to be told. And
Yeah.
yeah, shattered. Nicole was saying he was shattered. He's absolutely shattered. He's still shattered. And imagine trying to grieve your sibling, someone that you love and care about so deeply, and also stand up in front of the world and basically have to have this level of courage. All of those women had unbelievable amounts of courage standing up yesterday and doing what they did.
I know,
And
and everyone's shouting for them, like, "Why are they not just giving the names?" It's like, do you know how much I mean, it sounds like they're going to if no one else takes action, but, like, the if they have to have more courage than all of our elected Republican officials, then, like, shame on all of those officials. It shouldn't be on these women who are already managing the PTSD of their abuse
right,
to show even more courage
right.
and take even more risks where they haven't been protected in the past.
Yeah.
That's
You
why
know,
when oh, sorry.
Oh, no, no. I just, you know, so I think everyone knows I've been very transparent about this. Like I was molested when I was 8. Um, and it happened once, right? And it fucked me up like for most of my life. And to think about how badly I was impacted by that experience. And I mean, I'm not trying to compare here, right? I'm just
Yeah.
saying these women dealt with repeated rape, repeated
Right.
abuse, repeated systemic entrapment, and in the case of the farmer sisters, imprisonment, kind of, being literally kept on property, not allowed to leave. Like to have the strength to do what they're doing, and um, like take the pickaxe and night vision goggles required to do your healing work, to try to, you know, spelunk your way through the trauma that you endured as a child to kind of reclaim your life. It's courage, the likes of which I don't think many people can understand.
Right. Because the abuse wasn't one time, it
Right.
was ongoing, and it was being perpetrated by the most powerful men, let's just one woman and men on earth, right? In some
Yeah.
cases. And so to then, after 20 years of, or 20 plus years of not being believed or of not being heard, not being kept in the loop, to then be like, well, now you need to take even more chances and go name them again. And we can't promise we can protect you. That's
Right.
absurd. And it's why, like, for as awful as we all know Marjorie Taylor Greene to be, watching her get up in front of these women, elevate them from all of the privilege of her perch, and then say, if you all write down those names, I will walk in and I will read them. I will do it
Right.
on your behalf. Like that, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
that's so
I will say,
courageous.
I mean, like, I get it. She should be applauded for saying that. And
Yeah,
also, as a congressperson, she is protected by legislation called the speech and debate legislation that,
right,
elected representatives have protection, right? Like they can't be sued for libel in a speech and under the speech and debate clause, right?
right.
Um, so I mean, yes, kudos. And also, she has a level of protection as a congressperson that none of
Yeah,
those women remotely have anything, have access to anything like that.
right. But so do all the other Republicans who won't even put their name.
For sure.
So, like, I gotta be like, in this one case, you are acting like you are being a hero, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I thank you, even though I may loathe, all of the harm you've done in the past. Like, it's important to acknowledge when someone is on the right side of history, especially when it's like the contrast of it was what made the day so jarring, right?
Yeah.
I don't wanna spend our whole episode talking about this, but we didn't wanna just launch into the topic without acknowledging how historic yesterday was, how much courage was shown, and kind of just how gobsmacked we were by the, like, Republicans, 2 Republicans getting up there and siding with women, survivors of rape. Like, she used the R word. They all did. That was like, my head was exploding in a good way instead of in a, "Oh my god, this is terrible" way. Yeah, Karen saying I was crying my eyes out,
Yeah. Me too.
and Jacob, yeah, it gives you a hint of hope. You that's if nothing comes of this, if those 2, why am I forgetting his name right now? Thomas Massey?
Massey. Yeah.
Massey, okay, I didn't mean to forget
And
his name.
Rokana. Yeah.
Yeah. Ro Khanna at least is a Democrat, so he's siding with all of his people, right?
Right. Well, and I mean,
Brave
they
as
very
fuck.
explicitly said, like, every Democrat is going to vote for this,
Mhm.
and 5 Republicans have said yes already. They just need 2 more. Um, it's crazy, right? That the Republicans are so owned lock, stock, and barrel by Trump that even when confronted with an obvious right and wrong, like glaringly obvious right and wrong situation, they still cannot do the right thing.
Right, that he sees it as a personal affront if they do this. It's like, well, then clearly you're in it.
Right. Seriously,
Like,
why am I,
why
bro?
else?
Like, if you're not in the files, then why are you personally offended?
Right. This
You
is your
know?
campaign promise. You were going to do this. The cognitive dissonance there is like, how, how, how is this happening? How are there still people supporting this? Um, oh, and Karen, I did see this news this morning. It might be my fucked up Friday pick of that Texas just passed a law that anyone can sue. Um, oh, actually didn't see that part. Abortion pill manufacturers for 100K. I just saw that they're coming after tech, that you're not allowed to send them to Texas anymore. Like
Right.
literally, I will never go to Texas. I will not set foot in Texas. My children are forbidden from applying to schools in Texas and Florida when they get ready for college. Like, no, 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 no. It's too risky. It's too risky for them. And I'm just, yeah, we're going down all kinds of topics today. Brr,
Yeah, no,
shaking my fist.
they're the outrage,
Yeah.
right? The outrage o meter never stops kind of being hard pegged at the, at the redlined up at the, end of the, you know what? I'm going to stop. I was trying to go for a metaphor and I'm just
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah. It's like the thermometer, the red just goes up
Right,
the
right,
top,
right.
explodes out the top. Yeah.
Right.
I get you, 47 years later, I
Yeah,
get you.
yeah. As Jacob Summers would say, phrasing,
It matters.
phrasing matters. Yes.
Phrasing definitely matters. Let's shift to our topic today, Lawrence, which is how do we make our work, comma, work? Speaking
How,
of phrasing,
how do we do that?
I get a lot of people who I um, know that I have a big full-time corporate job that I don't talk about here hardly. So this is a little bit of a tricky topic. Um, but there's a lot of people ask me, how do you work your job and now, run this podcast on the daily and write and parent and how do you do all of, like people are like, "Oh, you're so busy, you do so much stuff. How do you do it?" And I'm generally
Yes.
just
How
like,
do you do it, Dana? How do you do it?
that's what we want to jump into today. And Lawrence, I know you have been in a similar circumstance. Right now you are job hunting, which can be as draining and time consuming as a full-time job.
Oh God, job hunting is a full-time job in and
Yeah.
of itself. Yeah. Um,
We talk a lot about the Gen X multi-hyphenate, how we all are kind of cobbling together all of these different aspects of our lives and work. So we want to jump into this a bit today. Um, the answer, when people ask me that, I just sort of am like, I don't know. Uh, and there's a lot of ideas here. And as we were practicing or discussing this topic, what you said to me, Lawrence, that's really resonating is, um, obviously this involves moving from step thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, like hat on, hat off constantly, and never having the sense to slow down and say, job well done, or to never even get the satisfaction of job well done because jobs, so many things are good enough,
well,
right?
or even, yeah, when we were talking about this, I was thinking about, um, at the early stage of my career and, what I kind of know about kind of the workplace before modern late stage capitalism, like you could be an expert in something, right? You could have a multi-decade career. You could be an expert. You could work on a project and be finished with it and take pride in the fact that you've done a good job and maybe have a bit of a respite before the next giant thing came along. And I was kind of contrasting that with my later career where, like you, I have had some, kind of big corporate jobs. And in those roles, there was never a moment to pause and reflect at the end of a project. Like
Right.
good work was rewarded with more work, right? And to the point where it's always layered on top of each other, and you never had a break between anything. And we could talk about burnout and those kinds of things, but yeah, it's really this idea that um, we don't have a chance to just actually become experts in anything because we're being asked to pivot. We're being asked to do so many projects at the same time. Like this is all, um, part of the game. Like how do you do it is really just I don't like. There's no alternative. I don't have a choice.
Right. I mean, there is a choice, right? I could just go to my job and do my job and come home and take care of my kids and take care of my home, because I'm the adult in the house,
Right.
and take care of my pets and do the things I like to do for fun, and that would be and has been a very full life. It's only in the last few years that I think that we're of the age, Lawrence, we Gen Xers, where there's this sense of, like, how much more do I have in me, and what does my life need to include? And a lot of that centers around, for me, around work and creativity, but not necessarily the work I do to earn money. It's coming into my own as a writer and being like, I love doing this work. This is the work that at the end of my life, if hopefully I still have a memory, I look back and I'm going to be like, I really remember doing that. Like building Gen XC and the Daily Whatever show with you, Lawrence, and
Right.
the community we've built here. Like these are the things that give me a profound sense of meaning. And I'm sure there are some people in the world who get that from the job that they go to that gives them the money to support their home. But I don't know that most of us do get that feeling at work. So I have the choice to not do it, but it would feel like disconnecting from a part of my heart and soul that I've finally connected with. Um, does it make me less available as a parent? Probably. Does that break my heart in a million pieces? Yes.
Yeah.
But am I also modeling for my kids who are, teens? I couldn't have done this when they were babies, obviously. Is this modeling for my teens what it means to like go the extra mile to do something that has meaning in your life? Also, yes.
Right.
And this is what goes through my head every day of like, what can I give up? How can I try to get this sense of balance? And I think that the balance, the things that go are I never exercise anymore, and I don't sleep enough,
Yeah.
and I don't
Nicole
clean
was
my
just saying
house.
in the chat, she's hardly been sleeping, parenting
Oh,
autistic kids and working full time and trying to stop from
mm,
melting down myself. So big hugs to Nicole. And Nick said, some of us millennials too, exhausted in work. It's become life. And
yeah,
yeah, like it's not just Gen X. Like
no,
this is everybody, right? Like we are, like the workplace has changed in the last 20 years into this, sort of weird dystopian late stage capitalism thing where none of us have enough time to do anything. None of us have enough time to do a good job. We are all trying to steal joy around the edges of corporate work.
that's a beautiful sentence. Steal joy around the edges of corporate work. 24 minutes after, I want to go find that quote when we're done, Lawrence. That was so pretty. I agree with you. It's dawning on me, Lawrence. Here's a really interesting parallel or convergence that happened in my life that I've been thinking about a lot lately that I think is relevant here. My daughter, my firstborn, was born in early January 2008. The iPhone was born in 2007. I don't remember when, but not like
Yeah,
months before
2007.
months before my daughter was born.
Yeah,
I cannot separate life as a parent from life um, with a device in hand that opened up the world to me in my hand, connection, community, entertainment, all the things in a way that phones hadn't done up until that point, right? But they also, I used to be a speech therapist, so I think a lot about memory and attention and cognition and things. Like we were never meant to divide our attention the way that modern life does. And was it the iPhone and the invention of smartphones? Was that when corporate life also became um, a whirlwind of projects and like pings and communication through so many streams that like it's impossible to do well. So everyone has things falling off. Was
Yeah.
it right around that same time? I feel like it
I
was.
would say like yes, and my friendly amendment would be
Mhm.
there are people who had Blackberries back in the day, right? Particularly East Coast, I think,
Mhm.
um, where just prior to the iPhone, there were people who were sort of pre-living this on their Blackberries, where they'd be getting messages, all hours of days and night of the day and night.
Yeah, messages, but that's not the same as, like,
No, for
opening
sure.
up social media and keeping track of what 2,000 people and all your news sources are up to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if we're talking about, so yeah, Nick just said the iPhone mainstreamed it. I absolutely think the iPhone is like that moment in time where like suddenly email on your phone was really easy, and and there were all the other apps, and you started getting messages, and suddenly texting in the middle of the night, like, oh, my boss didn't call me, but they sent me a text at like 10 p.m. or something, and like, do I respond to it, or do I just say, I was in bed, you motherfucker? Like,
Right. Depends on who your boss was, right? We've all had both kinds.
right,
So I think there's a blessing in it of I don't usually use that word, but there is that, like, for people like me, most modern tech jobs, there is, hey, good morning, Lisa. Sorry, most modern tech jobs, there is this sense of you can work when it works for you, as long as you're not missing meetings. So there are times when, after the kids go to bed, you can log in and get things done. Um, because work doesn't just exist at work, that like 9 to 5 that our parents had, like long, long, long gone. But the curse of that is you never put it down
right.
and it never goes away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. This is a total tangent, but I'm fascinated by the fact that like you never put it down, and then you know there are slews of people out there who kind of get hooked on these weird little games like Farmville or Candy Crush or whatever. Where
Yeah.
so my relaxation is looking at this same phone,
Oh, 100%.
doing something that is very task oriented and dopamine hit oriented and makes me feel compulsed in the same way that work email does. That's fun. That's great.
Yeah, my toxic habit is refreshing Substack and Instagram and Facebook and, and all the things, right? They the same the same stress slash dopamine cycle is happening for work and leisure, I guess.
Mhm.
Especially yeah, yeah, especially when you're a writer online and you're like, "How many people are responding? Is there anybody I need to respond to?" And that's what you're doing for fun, right?
Yeah.
Um, I really liked so there was an article, Laura's I wanna introduce this article, and then we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
bring the
I'm gonna
monster
put the
on.
link in the yeah, I put
Yeah,
the link in the chat.
this was a brilliant article. I missed it. You just sent it to me this morning, so I just read it. Um, and, remind me of the title. It's something about, like, work is
It's the death of the corporate job. And so so this guy's a Substacker. His name is Alex. He's 20 or 30 something. I think lives in the UK in London. And the article is really compelling. There's a part two that he just published today or yesterday or something. And we've invited him to be on the show. Hopefully he'll write back and accept.
oh, that would be
Um,
so exciting.
but
I'm
yeah,
gonna
the article was it's fascinating, right? Because
yeah,
his take is that somebody in the chat kind of talked about how the pandemic changed everything, and it really did. And kind of his take on it is that like the pandemic started to reveal this, and it's kind of continued that more and more people are like, yeah, my job isn't really real. Like the project manager who, optimizes meetings to talk about the strategy for, and all
yeah,
of it is bullshit. And it's just meetings, the plan meetings and manage projects that don't actually do anything. And more and more people are kind of admitting this, like, I'm not sure what my job actually is. I'm not sure what value I add.
Right. I've joked with people before of like, in my next life, when I come back, I don't really wanna be a dentist, but I wanna be something like a dentist where people are like, "What do you do?" What you can just be like,
Right.
"I'm a
I fix
dentist."
teeth.
And
Right.
they're just like, "Good, I get it." Um, I'm pausing because I'm being very careful because talking about work. Um, I feel like in the corporate world in general, because I have a lot of friends who work in tech as well, somewhere along the way, there became this emphasis on like all jobs have to be strategic. You can't just say, well, we're going to send a few emails because those are tactics. And
Right.
if you want to like get ahead, and now even if you just don't want to get let go, you need to prove that you are strategic. And the need for the strategy and the projections and the alignment and the da 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 da, da like it um I understand it because I speak the language, but I don't speak it as a first language. And the Gen X bullshit detector part of me is like, can we just say we're sending some emails and then
Right.
we're going to see how they
Right.
do?
And you can't, right?
You can't.
Yeah.
And
Nick is saying
everything,
tech is so data driven and eh, like to the point of, I have been in jobs where uh yeah, like on your annual review, things are so data driven that but you're in a conundrum because you're like, well, we can't actually measure that. Like my boss, my boss's boss, my boss's boss's boss, we all know that we don't have the data to measure this thing that we were given this strategic goal to meet. And so I need to put something in my review, but it's just going to be a made up number because we don't know how to actually measure this thing yet. And we don't have the budget to implement a way to measure it or whatever. And yeah, it's like turtles all the way down. It's guesses, all the way down.
yes. It is I just behind the scenes call it fake math sometimes where you're like, "Well, if you take this number and you extrapolate this and you figure a 27 basis point increase because of pull theory out of the air, then these are the numbers we're gonna be meeting in this time frame." And I wouldn't mind it if it weren't the bulk of the job. But it feels, like I don't think I'm making this up, but it's in my head of like, if your job wasn't in a Richard Scarry book, are you doing anything?
Right. Yeah, I think there was a meme that went
Yeah,
around a while
like
ago that like showed like the picture from a Richard Scarry book, and you can clearly like that's the mailman, that's the fireman, there's the
right.
dentist,
These are the
that's the
services that you are doing. And, um, 2 thoughts on there. One is, I think that need for meaning is that sense of, I used to feel more meaning when I would go to work because it would be like, I did these things and here's how they performed, but the doing the forward, like, that doesn't feel like doing anything. It's like wheel spinning in a way that, like, we went on Substack and we had a podcast and 48 people joined and hundreds of comments came through, and I left it feeling like I learned this, like, feels like doing or I wrote a story. There's nothing that gives me more meaning than finishing an essay. I
right,
wrote this essay. It, like, destroyed me writing it. It took a really long time. It was not efficient. I was not optimizing anything. I was, like, delving into my soul to draw parallels between these different things and then to express them in a way that others could relate to, and then I shared it with the world, and the world responded. Like, that's so rewarding.
yeah.
So
No, I mean,
those 2 things together are just like,
that
um
I'm doing alpaca lunch, I'm designing these t-shirts and I've always wanted to be a graphic designer in some way or another and it's probably meaningless, but I don't fucking care. It gives me so much joy to design a funny t-shirt.
yeah.
And even if nobody buys it, it still makes me happy. And oh my God, if somebody buys it, then, I'm over the moon.
Right, if you see when you all send pictures of the whatever stuff in the wild, T-shirts, magnets, like
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you making both of us happy with your.
Courtney in Canada sent that picture of the magnet on her fridge yesterday, and I like cried because
Oh,
I made that. Like I designed that magnet. Yay!
I know. You know what? There was a flip side I was going to say about that, about giving meaning. And I already forgot what the other thing was because I have so many things in my head all the time. I can't keep them straight. But one thing I do know is we got to get the Momster on here because,
Time to add Momster.
yes. And baby Grace. Here we go. All right. So I really wish I could think of that other thing though, because it was an important point, but we will talk to the Momster.
Hi,
Hey,
Grace.
say hi, Mama.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh! Look at
she's
that cute
trying to say.
smile. Hi.
Hi.
Say good morning. We're still
Good
in our jammies.
morning.
Of course you are.
Oh, she
Wow.
kisses Lawrence almost daily, so it's just a
Aw.
matter of time.
Everybody's freaking out in the chat. Oh,
Right, right. All the hearts coming in.
we have been hearing updates on baby Grace like since this podcast has existed. Um, so full disclosure, all uh, should I call you the Momster or can we use your
Whatever
name?
works. You can use my name. That's fine.
Okay, Alex and I until last week worked together. So this is especially relevant. So I hear about baby Grace here and I have seen baby Grace on many a work call. And so when we introduced this topic, I was like, who better than a work from home mom of a baby to talk about how we make work work and wearing multiple hats at the
How
same
do we
time.
do it?
I do not know, but I get updates. I get pictures of Grace like kissing the phone when your face is on it, Lawrence.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, it's us. We're talking to you today. You're
hi,
on the
Grace.
screen. Are you freaking out? Do you think she gets that, like, normally she's not on these calls, she's just watching, but now she's here with us?
I don't know. I FaceTimed her from the office the other day and she really freaked out. I know.
There are rules. Well, yeah, you being through the screen, I can only imagine that that was like a Coraline, like, the buttons on the eyes, I'm freaking out. You're
Right.
not supposed to be on that side of the screen.
Exactly.
Oh my god, she's such a love. Grace, thank you for coming on. You are by far our youngest guest ever.
You're making your podcasting debut.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at
She's
her
like, I
looking
don't
at
know.
you. She's like,
It's right
is
there.
this okay?
She
Hi.
never needs approval, right? And that's what we're trying to teach her every day. Don't look at us for approval. You
Right.
do whatever you want, you strong woman.
Go,
She's
baby
gonna
Grace.
she's gonna need that. Grace, it's gonna be on you to change the world. We fucked it
Oh,
up.
jeez.
Sorry.
No pressure.
Jeez Louise. Good thing I have my earbud in, Dana.
Sorry about the swears. We messed everything up. We messed everything up, baby Grace. You and
It's
your
a
peers are gonna have to fix it all. No pressure. Oh my gosh. So,
but
Alex, want
yes.
to get your thoughts. How do we make work work? And what do we do at work all day?
Oh God. We think about everything else we have to do. I mean, how do we make it work? Like, do we? I don't know, because 'cause I've been working, like, 9 to 5 and then, like, 8 to 11, and then I have to wake up 4 or 5 times at night to make sure that she's taken care of.
Yes.
So I I don't know if it's actually working, but you find some way to I don't even wanna say balance because like, that's not even real.
No, it's not
It's,
real.
making sure that you are finding the comfort in knowing you're not gonna give 100% in all the places all the time.
Mm.
Yes.
So,
And
I
as we're
have to be like that, like, on a regular basis, right? So, I know I'm really lucky. So, Mr. Momster stays at home with baby Grace, during the day, and I'm here. So, if I feel like I need extra cuddles in the middle of the day, I can run downstairs and go get them, right? But if I'm in back to back to back meetings, like the article had said, um, I have to forego checking on my baby, right? Or nursing my baby. We're still actively nursing. So how I have to be okay with that, right? Like I have to go, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to pump right now. I guess I'm not gonna see her until whatever time in another 3 hours after I put four more meetings about strategy and how we're
Right.
not gonna do anything.
Optimizing strategy for strategy
Exactly.
optimization. Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
But um yeah, that's kind of why I joined Substack. Like I had her, so you guys, I don't know who knows in the chat, but um Grace is an IVF baby. Um my husband and I were trying, but 2020 like kind of screwed everything us up for us. Uh, I was 43, almost 44 when she was born. Much older, thank God, because I think that you learn a lot in life, right? So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to know a lot before I had her, but also it's exhausting. Um, and I have a full time job, and I've always kind of been career driven. So, like, kind of coming to grips with what is going to be like to be a working mom and mom in general. Like, I said, okay, let me go to Substack and maybe like figure it out. Let me try to write about it. I'm not a writer. I'm nowhere like Dana and Lawrence at all. But my goal was to.
Monster. I gotta go get your profile here, so I should have done this at the start. Your letters to Grace are lovely. You are absolutely a writer, and you need to just say that. I'm not
Well, thank you.
chastising, but
Thank you.
they really are. I feel certain there are. I know you're pretty new to Substack, but the people who are reading you are taking comfort in your words, or in like cases like mine are like, "Yep, I remember those days very well." Here's where you can follow the Momsters, letters from the Momster. What is
Thank
a
you.
Momster? Why
Good
that moniker?
question. So I know I think you and I have talked about it offline. Oh my God.
Let's take this offline. Put a pin in it.
Mm.
But I work upstairs in our makeshift office, um, and Baby Grayson, Mr. Momster, are downstairs throughout the day. So when he comes to check on me with the baby, here's the steps across the upstairs. He goes, oh no, here comes the monster. Like, it was just a way for us to have fun with the fact that I'm not around all day and like, oh, what's she doing up there? It's turned into for me a way to have a little bit of power in this work from mom life, right? I transform on a daily basis from her
Yep.
mom, playful, let's hang out in the playpen, to like having to be on calls all day, right? So it's my red lipstick is my way to embrace the fact that I'm changing and show her what it would be like and what it's like to be able to have that change in your life. I
Hmm.
want her to see me and like say, okay, that's what she does. Like she's not just up there like playing without me.
Right.
She's doing something. Let me see what she does. So
I'm playing a game called Let's join a Zoom call. It's a
yay!
super fun game. Uh,
So that's where it came from. And now, like you said, I try to write weekly letters to her. I'm trying not to keep myself like, has to be weekly because I want it to really be about like an experience. If I'm learning something from her, then I write about it. I don't need to fill a calendar. Um, but I write letters to her so that way she knows what this experience is like and what she taught me. And I try to make some fun of the newsletter, have some silly moments that we have throughout the week as well. Because as you can see, there's no there's no shortage of moments with her, um, and bring some way of finding a community, which I have found here on Substack, which is fantastic, of other moms and other people like on the other whatevers to support every morning and to support me when I'm struggling with sleep training, or
Mhm.
like, you know, I have a squirmy girl who just cut 2 more teeth.
Oh, wow.
So we are at a total of 4 now.
Hey, Grace.
4 teeth.
Just
Oh my gosh.
man, it makes nursing very interesting.
Oh,
So,
I remember those days. Speaking of nursing, there is a story here I want to share. It's written by one of my favorite writers. Her name is Karala Goodkin, and she's coming on the show next week. Oh, wait, hold on. That's your link. Let me go grab it again.
I mean, you can put my link in again.
Yes, I will put your link in again. But I'm also going to put this one, and it's called Where Breast is Best Keeps Missing the Mark. She just published it 2 days ago. And it's about, where is our live? The essential summary of the story is there's all of this, as a new mom, you get all this messaging about breastfeeding and it's best. And, decades ago, that kind of messaging was needed because our parents, our moms mostly didn't breastfeed because the formula companies kind of owned the messaging. It's better to give formula, blah, blah, blah. Her point was like, we don't really need this anymore. We get it. We know it's best. But if you're not going to give us 12 months of maternal leave,
Yeah.
like, sorry, Grace, F you for guilting moms into this, just like, you have to nurse exclusively for 12 months. And she kind of gets into the whole pumping into the office, all of these things. And it's been a long time for me. My eldest is senior in high school, but man, do I remember those days of furtively running off to pump. I know you're doing a lot of it from home. You mostly don't come into the office, but I think you'll really enjoy this story, and a lot of you in the chat will as well, either as a now, but I'm saying, like, I remember the days, and how groups like La Leche League have done wonders for getting, like, pumping rooms.
Mhm.
Um, Boy, I could tell some stories about where I pumped when I was going through it, but almost none of them are working on changing the government, and, kind of no wonder with where our government is right now, but
Well, yeah.
until we get there, like, how hard it is to try to work and mom. You're so exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm here
Yeah.
from the future to say it gets better. You sleep through the night, but also the obligations and the worries
I
get
have a
kind of
feeling
big.
they'll never stop.
They never stop, and that sense of, am I doing the right thing by working, never ends. I'm at the other end from you, talking about making work work. I always thought that I would take a gap at some point. And I remember the day my second, my younger child, her last day of preschool, walking into their beloved preschool for the last time and taking her things and just crying my eyes out, both because I was so sad to leave them, but also because I never took that gap when they were little. I never was able to stop working. And I'm now looking at it, it's at the very tail end. I've got a senior and a sophomore, and I'm like, I will never take that time.
Mhm.
And because now, even though, career is further along, I'm older, have some more money saved, it feels so much harder to make ends meet than it did 15 years ago. I'm kind of
I
off
have
on
a
a bit of
feeling that it's
tangent.
always gonna
Always
it's
gets
always gonna
worse.
feel harder, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
I
I
mean, that
think that
kind of
the
brings
world
us
has
back
changed.
to, you know, our late stage capitalism angle, right? Like, it's harder because you have to log in, like Alex was saying, 8 to 10 o'clock at night to catch up on the emails. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just a 9 to 5 job anymore, or you have to go drive Uber in the evening to, piece together an actual, living wage. Like, we're living in a time where, we we can't just work one job and support a family of 4 off of one person working. Those days, if they ever existed, are gone forever.
Well, a lot of, I don't know a lot, but in my experience, there are companies too that don't want you to work in their company forever, right? They're
Right.
looking for that turn. So, whereas I used to work in the financial services industry, and I had people who were, retiring after 40 plus years. That doesn't exist anymore. Like, are you
Right.
kidding me? Not in Not in my career. I don't see it.
Right.
So,
Retiring after 40 years with a pension and then also Social
oh,
Security, right?
yeah,
Like,
don't even.
yeah, things that are an absolute
Laughable.
dream.
Right? Musings is saying, my daughter lives in Tokyo. She got a year's leave at 75%, and her husband got 6 months. Like, can you imagine such luxury?
I mean,
That
we
might be
can
the baby.
imagine it. It just, not here in the United States.
I
Right.
feel like I was grateful that I had the time that I had, and I know that it's nothing compared to other countries. Um, but yeah, I wanted to come back. Dana, you were mentioning the article about breastfeeding. That's been something huge. I don't know how many people on the chat would understand, but not only do we not like do we talk about breast is best, but
Yeah.
we also don't talk about how difficult breastfeeding is to begin with.
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
it is I don't know, Lauren, do you probably think that okay, this is a natural thing, like it happens, right? Like
No,
it
no, 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 no. I actually, for a gay dude, know something about breastfeeding and the process and how hard it is to ensure that the baby's latching correctly and wondering if your milk is coming in. And yeah,
Oh,
no, I get it. Nicole said something in the chat earlier when we were talking about that article initially. She said fed is best, right? Like
exactly.
making sure that your baby is fed is the best thing, and being guilted into a particular way of doing it is
But even saying both of those lines is in the end just a line because you still feel the pressure
yeah,
of, figuring it out and the almost the guilt of giving a bottle or formula versus like being able to do it on your own, like do this very natural thing. Um, that was tough for me. She was also premature, so the first week of her life, she was in the NICU, not next to me, which is also different for than I guess a lot of other parents. So I didn't get that chance to have immediate like, okay, let's connect immediately, right? Thinking about donor milk, thinking about how do you feed your baby when you're not able to be right there was something. So I agree that uh, we talk a lot about breast
yeah.
is best.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is fed is best. It
It
is like
It
just do
truly
the right
is.
thing. Do the right thing
it's
for your
interesting.
baby.
Nicole just said mom guilt never goes away, which is true because my mother did breastfeed my sister and I in the 70s, which was not typical of the time,
It was
but
not.
she still carries guilt that she weaned us off too soon, right? Like she was kind of facing the pressure to get us
Really?
onto formula. And so she's like, oh, I only did like a month with each of you. And it's like, mom, we're okay. 55, like not,
Right?
not being
Oh my
breastfed for
gosh.
longer isn't what made me gay. I promise.
Right. If only she'd nursed
Right.
for
If
longer.
only I'd had more boob as an infant, I would not be, the
You should
queer,
totally tell her
fabulous
that.
queer dude that I am now.
You should tell her that. I'm sure that would go over really well, though.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've told her.
That's hilarious. I love that.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
say that
she's
as I like
84 and she
give the
still carries
baby
this guilt.
what is that?
I say that as I give the baby a ice pack for your breasts. So when you are preparing to nurse, you take care of your boobs. So this is
Yeah,
her play toy this morning.
cabbage leaves. I
Right.
just did you do the cabbage leaves trick? Because that really helps.
Yep.
It
And
was
it's amazing what
you kind of felt
things
like
that you are told to do.
yeah, this her story, Carl, I hope I'm saying her name right. Carla's story, Breast is Best, talks about like no one talks about that at times they need to nurse every hour.
Yes.
And
And
so
think about that.
yeah,
Nursing every hour means you are even every 2 hours, right? You're nursing them. It takes time, 20, 30
15,
minutes
20
maybe.
minutes.
Sure.
Then you you have to make sure that they're down. Then you have to prepare yourself. You have to wind down, and then you do it all over again.
Yep.
So this sleep when the baby sleeps, that doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Right.
That's silly, huh?
Yeah.
It
That's
is
silly.
And
It
you know, and of
is.
course, you're trying to get work done in between, right? Like, how in the
Oh,
world?
nursing while you're on a Zoom call? That's been interesting. That's
Oh my
been
gosh.
really
Right.
interesting.
Like, I'm going to go off camera. Oh, no, no, we don't go off camera on this team. No, trust me, you really want me to be off camera for this.
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny, I have had international calls where it's been more explicit. My uh coworkers have been like, she's a new mom. She's going off camera. And they're like, oh yeah, like we know what you're doing. Where
Right.
I wouldn't dare say that in the US. Oh, my camera's not working right now. Sorry.
Right.
I
Like,
fucking hate the baked in patriarchy of this country. It's
Yeah.
so fucking disgusting how it invades every piece of our lives.
It it's very sad, but it's something also that I just have to work within, right? Like it's it's where I'm at, unfortunately. Um, also, we read multiple books a day, at least try to. And now she likes to eat books, so
yes.
we're not going to be getting any of Lawrence's latest releases, but uh, we we have Indestructibles is what they're called. She can chew on them, so
Oh,
that's been her
excellent.
favorite right now.
I mean, it would be nice if they could put some, nutritional value in there somewhere.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know that we're solving the problem of how we make work for us. I think part of you said something earlier is sticking with me a bit of like being okay with being okay at everything. And if it's not 100%, it's okay. I'm thinking about this as a parent right now, and um, maybe this is me trying to assuage my mom guilt in a very Gen X way. But our generation of parenting, and I think this has continued on down, is very hands on, and the idea that my mom was a stay at home mom, as were most of my friends growing up, but they had such a they even though they weren't working, they also had less expectations as a parent, right? They weren't supposed to be there for every milestone, to do everything, to have the perfectly baked cookies for the PTA things and the help with, homework every night. And there was sort of this sense of go outside and play. It's your homework, go do it. And so not only do you have to work, but we're also on point to like do everything for our kids in ways that our parents didn't have to. And because I haven't been able to, my Gen X take on that is maybe my light case of benign neglect there is making my kids more resilient. Because I've told them, like, I mean, my oldest is looking at colleges, and I'm like, I don't have time to do this research for you. You're the one going to college. Go research. I'm starting to get nervous she's not doing it. But I feel like, during the pandemic when the stay-at-home moms were like sitting next to their kids on the screen, thankfully mine were in 5th and 7th grade. They weren't littles because I don't know how any mom could have done it then. A lot of moms quit work because of it. But my kids, I was like, learn what you're going to learn. I can't, I have to work. I have no idea if they learned anything in 5th or 7th grade. They're fine now. Keep going. So I would say to all the multi-hyphenates out there, whether parents or not, pick what really needs your attention.
And it changes
Like
daily,
everything else
right?
does.
Right.
It changes
Probably
daily. It's
minute to minute.
hourly,
Yeah.
exactly. And being just understanding and giving yourself a little bit of grace um,
Yep.
to to know that it is going to change, and I
You
I get through
posted
the
a
day.
note like a month or so ago where you said something like, sometimes what I need most is to take a midday like secret nap with my baby and just cuddle. And I was like, girl, same. Sometimes what I need is like the 1 p.m. I'm curling up in the bed with my cat.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
And
and work doesn't need to know that.
Right?
not only do they not need to know, it didn't like burn down.
Right.
Nothing
Seriously, like
happened.
it didn't actually impact my productivity at all. It probably made it better.
Exactly.
Right?
I used to work in the restaurant industry, and I would tell these teenagers who were serving and hosting. It's just burgers and fries, guys.
Right.
We're not solving the world. We're
Yeah,
not solving the
yeah.
world's problems. It's burgers and fries. And that's what my job is. I have to remind myself.
Yes, we're
It's fine. It's just burgers and fries.
optimizing strategies and making a lot of spreadsheets.
Some meetings for meetings. And don't forget AI.
Yes, make sure you're using AI for all of this.
Yeah.
Even though I don't understand how or why, just make sure you do it. And eventually it's going to take your job away.
Right.
And that's why I'm
Right.
making you figure out.
Even though it's sometimes wrong. Often wrong.
Often wrong, which we're going to get into that another day, Lawrence. It is already the top of the hour. Grace, time flies with a wrinkly baby. Oh my God, look at her.
She's cute, you guys.
I love her. Look at that face.
Look at that face.
You have made our day, both with your wise word and for bringing this little bundle of cuteness on.
Yes.
Well, she's here to watch you guys every morning. This is
Oh my
her
God.
morning wake up show. So
We
thank
love
you
it.
guys, and
Cheers.
glad you guys got to see her.
Yes.
You guys have a great
Thank
day.
you. Thank you so much, Alex.
This is so great.
Hey,
My
bye,
now
Grace.
former coworker, Alex, the Momster. You guys, you should absolutely go follow her. And yeah, it's been so wonderful hanging out with you all this hour. Tomorrow is Fucked Up Friday. We've got
Fucked Up
Carlin and
Friday.
Betcha coming on, and we've got lots of fucked up news to talk about.
So much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We love
Bye,
you.
Momster. Bye, baby Grace. Bye. Love, mean it.